Hello and welcome to Lily's Library. So it has been quite a while since I last sat down and filmed a video. I've been meaning to get back into it, but just the moving stuff kind of drained me a lot more than I was expecting. But we're finally mostly set up and settled in. There's still a few things to organize and deal with, but we're like 99% there. So I thought we would ease back into all of this stuff by talking about the books that I read in March, the books I acquired in March, and then also my April TBR. So we have got quite a lot to get through, so let's just get straight into it. So starting with the books I read in March, I only ended up being able to read 4 of them. I'm still kind of in those weird slump moods, or just because I was moving and not reading, I've kind of just fallen out of the habit of it, at least how I used to, and it's like adjusting to the new schedule and everything with work and life, that I just haven't really done a lot of reading. But I did manage to finish 4 books, and the first of that was Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Farseer trilogy. I really enjoyed this. It was quite slow, which didn't help with me being in kind of more a slumpy feel. So that was one thing I struggled with this, but I still really enjoyed it and had a really good time reading it. These books are just fantastic. They are so sad, but amazing at the same time, and I'm really excited yet nervous to see where the third and final book in this trilogy goes, and I'm in love with Robin Hobb's writing. So if you haven't heard of the Farseer trilogy, it starts with Assassin's Apprentice. In these books, we follow Fitz. He is the bastard son of one of the princes of the 6 duchies, and he ends up getting raised by the king and the people of the keep, and he's trained to be an assassin and also trained to use the powers that this bloodline carries. We've got political intrigue in this, we've got assassinations, we've got corruption. There is so much that happens in it, and it's just so good. The fantastical elements and like magic of all this is amazing as well. It's one of my favorite worlds and characters I've ever read. It is just so good, and I just highly recommend this series. If you've been wanting to get to it but are intimidated, just give book 1 a go. It is the shortest out of all of the books in this world, and it is so good and heartbreaking but so good. But it really helps ease you into it, and they're just such incredible books. The next book I read was an audiobook, and that was Salt Slow by Julia Armfield. This is her short story collection. I had a really good time reading this. It's very weird and kind of just exactly what I'd expect from a Julia Armfield book. I have only read Our Wives Under the Sea, and I'm planning to get to Private Right soon, but I absolutely just love how weird her writing is and the things that she comes up with. It's just such a good and interesting short story collection. There was some that I really enjoyed, and I do really want to get a physical copy of this because I want to reread it. I feel like there's some things I missed by listening, it wasn't a fault of the audiobook, it was more me just like struggling to pay attention because I had lots going on in my brain. But I still had a really good time reading and listening to this one. Next, I read Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is her newest book. I ended up picking this up this month as well. I just really wanted something pretty easy to read, and Ali Hazelwood books I find them so enjoyable and fun and easy and quick to get through. This is definitely a longer one from her. Like, this is more than 400 pages. Which I do usually struggle with romances being that long, but for this one it really worked. I loved the focus and exploration of swimming and diving. I found that really interesting. We still had kind of all those STEM elements in it, which I thought was fun, and I absolutely loved both of these characters and their relationship, and I really related to a lot of the things that Scarlett was thinking about and concerned about, and it was just nice seeing that on paper and like not being alone in that sense. But I just really enjoyed this. This is so fun. The spice in this is fantastic as well. I just had a really good time with this one. It's just a fun Ali Hazelwood book. But Deep End by Ali Hazelwood is a college romance. In this we've got Scarlett, who is a diver. She had a really bad injury, I think a year ago or something, where she wasn't able to dive, and now she's got a mental block because of that. So we cut between her diving and doing her studies, as well as some excerpts of her with her therapist trying to work through what's stopping her from doing these dives. Our other character in this is a man on the swimming team, and Scarlett is best friends with his girlfriend. They end up splitting up but keeping it a secret. But one of the things that made them split up is like his sex interests and his kinks. This has a lot to do with like dom and sub relationships and really explores that, which I thought was fun. And it's a very like introductory thing into all of that. It's very like simple to get through. But they obviously start hooking up because they both have similar interests. That's one of the things that Scarlett's best friend, the guy's ex, tried to do to get them together, said that they're both into like dom and sub stuff so that they would be a good pair. And then that happened. And they obviously end up developing feelings for each other, and it was so much fun. And then the final book I read was Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reid. This is their newest book. It is a sapphic YA dystopian, and it's honestly just a quintessential YA dystopian. I had such a good time reading this. It's just genuinely so fun, but it doesn't shy away from heavier themes at the same time. So in this we follow two different characters. We've got Inessa, who lives with her brother and her mother, and her brother basically have to do everything to sustain their household. Their mother is in severe amounts of debt because she is sick and is constantly paying for things that she thinks will fix her and help her. Her and her brother have a hunting and taxidermy business. He will go out and hunt and kill deer and bring them back, and she is the one that will like stuff them and taxidermy them. And then one day she is volunteered by her mother or forced by her mother to go into the Gauntlet. In this world, the Gauntlet is a competition style thing. It is a show that's broadcast live to everyone, where you have an angel who hunts a sacrificial lamb. And the lamb can be someone that has debt or is related to someone who has debt. And if the lamb survives, that debt is wiped clean. And so Inessa is shoved into this life and has to learn to fight for herself and figure out what's going on. Our other character is Melanoe. She is one of the angels, and she is the one that is being tasked with hunting down Inessa in this. So obviously their paths cross, and we look at the fallout from this. Like I said, this does deal with a lot of heavy themes. We've got a lot of talk about climate change and climate destruction. That's a very key theme in this book. We've also got a lot of discussions around the healthcare system, specifically the American healthcare system, where they basically pay to keep people poor. They make everything so expensive that sick people can't seek treatment. And if they want treatment, it's going to cost them literally their life. And it's got so many other discussions around violence, the consumption of violence as entertainment, the treatment of women, violence against women, just so many different things. And it was such a good book. The only criticism I have, which isn't even really a criticism of the book, is that I just wished there was more. I would love a sequel to this. There was so much that felt like it was incomplete in a way, or that it wasn't over. Like, I want to see what these characters were fighting for, and I want to see them explore that more and gain more from it all. It's really hard to talk about without spoiling it, but I just think their fight and their story isn't over, and I really need a sequel. But Fable for the End of the World is also the book I read for the Trans Rights Readathon, so I will be donating $25 to an organisation. I will have more details up on my other social medias, because I still got to decide which one. But I was hoping to read more books, but I just really was struggling and not feeling it. There were some other books I did read, but then I've been feeling a bit sick, so I just didn't really have the mental capacity to read them and finish them and smash them out before the end of the month. But 4 books is still a really good effort, especially since these were all like decent lengths, and I really did enjoy all of them. But with those 4 books, 3 of them came off of my physical TBR, but one was also one that I acquired in the month. So when we look at my physical TBR count, we are currently sitting at 127. I definitely miscounted somewhere or lost some numbers in between stuff, and it's just not something I'm going to be able to go back and look just because of the moving process. So my current count is 127. That's what I will be starting April with, and be trying to get some books off of it and acquire a lot less than I do end up reading, which is going to be a struggle with my slump. But I will go through the 7 books that I actually bought that added to my physical TBR in March. So the first one is one I already mentioned, and that was Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I'm not going to speak too much more about this because I have already kind of explained it, but I needed a romance, something easy to read. I wanted a physical book too, so I went and got this because I needed something to get through that was pretty quick and easy. There was also 2 really exciting releases that came out that I needed to buy copies of. I will be reading them soon, so I'll be talking about them in my TBR. But the first one I picked up is Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. This is the 3rd book in the Legendborn cycle. Side note though, I'm really mad at the size of this. Like, I love how floppy it is. Like, that is just perfection. But Legendborn and Bloodmarked, at least here in Australia, were published in the small paperback size. But for some reason, when they published Oathbound, they've done it in the big trade size, and I don't understand why. Because I bought Legendborn not all that long after it released, and then I also bought Bloodmarked when it released, and they're both in that smaller size, but for some reason they decided to change it to the bigger one now. I don't understand, and I'm annoyed about it, but at least I have the hardback, so this still kind of blends in. But little rant aside, I'm just so happy to have my hands on this. I'm so nervous and scared about reading it, but I will be getting to it soon, because I just need to know what happens. I might need a refresher on Bloodmarked though, so I'm gonna maybe read the last few chapters or look for a little summary somewhere. But the Legendborn cycle is honestly one of my favorite series. This is an Arthurian reimagining. It's got themes of grief, and we will also look a lot at racism and classism within the US, and it is just such an interesting take on the whole Knights of the Round Table thing. It's honestly one of the most unique retellings of it I've ever read. If you're looking for a new fantasy series to get into that doesn't hold any punches and is just such a good exploration of so many different themes that I highly recommend this world. I'm just so excited for it, and I absolutely love all of the characters in it and everything that happens. As mad as some of the things that happen in this make me, I just really always have a good time with these books. The next new release is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is obviously Hamish's book. I'm not going to speak too much about it because I feel like most people already know. I feel like I just don't really need to say it's Hamish's book, that's a given. I have yet to read this, but I will be reading it soon. I am nervous as shit because I've seen so many people cry about it, but I'm so excited. Then HarperCollins sent me an ARC copy of Everblessed. This is by Olivia O'Flynn. This is a new romantasy coming out. So Everblessed releases on June 4, and like I said, this is a new romantasy. It's first in a series. It blends mythology and spicy romance and magic and all sorts of things, and it sounds really fun. Now, if you're new here, I have a book club called the Farseer Readers. We are currently reading the Farseer trilogy, which is why I was reading Royal Assassin. Next up, we will be reading the Live Ship Traders trilogy, which I ended up buying all 3 of the books. I was gonna order them online because I could never find them in store, but a bookshop here actually had them, and I saw that they had all 3, so I had to buy them immediately. These are really thick books, but the trilogy includes Ship of Magic, which is book 1, then we have got The Mad Ship, which is book 2, and then finally Ship of Destiny. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I don't really remember what these are about. I did read the blurb when I picked it up, and it did sound interesting. This one, we explored the Rain Wilds, which is an area I've been really wanting to hear more about because I've heard really interesting things about it from people, and it's I feel like I've heard quite a few people say it's one of their favorite areas in the Farseer world and in this area, so I'm very excited to see what that's about. I think that is all the books I acquired throughout the month, but I'm very excited yet nervous for how thick these are. Okay, moving on now to my April TBR. We've got quite the stack here, and I really don't think I'm going to be able to get through all of these, but we'll have to see. So to cover ones I have already gone over, I really want to try and get to Oathbound this month. I'll have to see how I go because this is a long one, and I know it's going to be emotionally devastating, so we'll have to see how mentally prepared I am throughout the month, but I would really like to try and get to this if I have the time. Then continuing with the Farseer trilogy, we've got Assassin's Quest, which I'm still on chapter 1. I really need to make a wiggle on and read this. Like I said, we will be reading this throughout the entirety of the month, so I only have April to finish it, and it's quite the long book. So I'm very excited and nervous about this because it's already so sad and I haven't even finished the first chapter. So I am slightly nervous to see where it goes, but I also need answers and need to know what happens. One of my current reads is an arc of Vanishing World by Sayaka Murata. This comes out very soon, actually. It comes out in April, and this is so weird but so interesting. I really just love everything Sayaka Murata does. A lot of it can make me feel really uncomfortable, and this definitely doesn't shy away from some obscurities and things that she loves to include in her books. But I am about halfway through it, and I'm hoping to finish it very soon. I'm just really enjoying this, and I just love Sayaka Murata. Like, I know this is going to be good and weird and wonderful, and I'm so excited for it. I also have a book from the library I want to try and get to, and this is The Seep. This is by Chana Porter. I don't 100% remember what this is about. I know we've got aliens and an alien invasion of sorts that kind of controls the way that people view and do things, or people can like join them in some way. I'm not too sure. I know our main character is a trans woman and is also queer as well, so that was one of the things that drew me to it. It's also blurbed by Jeff Vandermeer, who just says it's mesmerizing, and I absolutely love Jeff Vandermeer, so I wanted to pick this up. A lot of my mutuals as well have really enjoyed it and said good things, so I just trust their opinion and know I will also like it. So I didn't really need to read too hard into what it's about. Next, I want to read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I still haven't read this. I've actually started it. I'm 125 pages in. I'm on chapter 9. When I was reading it, I was struggling a bit, but I've been very much in a dystopian mood lately, so I'd like to get to this, and then I can finally watch the movie, and then I will be picking up Sunrise on the Reaping, which is obviously the newest one. This is Hamish's book, so I would love to get to both of these. This one's a bit more intimidating just because it's on the longer side, I guess, compared to this one, but I really just need to read both of them. I need answers. I've been avoiding spoilers for as much as you can with anything related to the Hunger Games for both of these, so I'm intrigued and worried about what's going to happen with both of these books. And the last book I'm planning on reading is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong. This is the author of The Sword of Kaigan. I'll be doing a buddy read of this with 2 of my friends from TikTok, and I'm very excited yet nervous for this one as well. This is a dark academia. I've heard very mixed things about it. Some people seem to either love it or hate it, which seems to be consistent with ML Wang's books, but I'm intrigued to see what this is like, especially since this was the one out of her 2 books that got picked up by trad publishers. So I'm intrigued to see why. It also just seems like there's a really cool magic system in this world. We've got like these weird typewriter things that have like these orbs that like power and control everything. Someone did explain it to me, but I've kind of forgotten. But regardless, I'm really hoping I can get to this one soon. I think we will be starting it very soon as well, so it'll be one of the first books I get to this month. But that is all the books I read in March, bought in March, and then am planning on reading in April. Let me know if you have read any of them and what your favourite book you read in March was, and I will see you all with a new video next time. Goodbye!